As 2023 ended, we said au revoir to Thalys and bonjour to Eurostar Red, a result of the merger with the main Eurostar brand, though don't expect all trains to look like this. I rode with this new operator recently and not much has changed, as you can see. We'll be taking a trip from Amsterdam to Paris, reaching speeds of 300 km per hour, where I'll be showing you just how little has changed since October 2023. Now sit back and enjoy the ride. We'll be starting today's trip at the Grand Amsterdam Centraal, plugged right in the heart of the Dutch capital and a hub for national and international services across the Netherlands and beyond. The unmistakable design of this station dates back to 1889, and as most regular viewers will know, this is by far one of my favourite stations in mainland Europe, which combined with the links to other transit makes it a natural starting point for journeys undertaken by Eurostar. Much of the inside has been renovated as part of an ongoing modernisation programme expected to be completed in 2030. There is still a lot more work to be done, with quite a bit of it going on platform side as we speak, though we'll take a look at that shortly. Eurostar issues e-tickets as well as paper ones, though despite having around half an hour to go before departure, my ticket doesn't seem to be valid. A quick word with the platform staff later and we're good to go. You'll find plenty of non-essential and essential shops in the subway area, which cater to the many tourists as well as travellers this station sees on a daily basis. This is the second busiest station in the Netherlands, with over 192,000 passengers per day, and the station standing as one of the country's most visited national heritage sites. Up on the platforms, the iconic Dutch koploper can be seen departing from platform 15, with its successor, the ICNG, just in front of it, which will be replacing these bizarre units in the coming years. Normally, I would pay a visit to the NS International Lounge on Platform 1, which my Eurostar Premium ticket grants me access to. On this occasion, however, the renovation works extended to Platform 1, making the lounge accessible only by exiting the station and re-entering from the other side. The lounge is nothing to write home about, so I passed this time. If you want to learn more about it, click the link above now. Our Eurostar train, numbered ES9334, is now shown as departing from platform 14. Unlike Eurostar's London services, the entire journey to Paris takes place in the European Schengen area, so no passport checks are performed. We can instead board the train straight away, which is pulling in now. Our train today is one of Eurostar's 9 TGV PBA units, built by Alstom between 1994 and 1996, as a derivative of the TGV Réseau units used on TGV Inouï services in France, Belgium and Italy. The 9 PBAs are limited to use on the Amsterdam to Brussels to Paris route. These were seen at the time of manufacture by Thalys as a cheaper and simpler variant of the TGV PBKA, which runs additionally on Eurostar services to Cologne and Dortmund in Germany, which I've looked at before on the channel under the Thalys brand. This particular example of PBA was built in 1995, and perhaps the most significant change to the train in recent years has been the long-anticipated rebrand from Thalys to Eurostar, which came following the completion of the merger of the brands in October 2023. The last journey I did with Thalys was in premium class, so I'll be in it again to see what exactly has changed since then. But before we get into that, a quick word from this video's sponsor. The sponsor of this video is NordVPN, one of the best VPNs or virtual private networks on the market. Most of you have been around since the channel began, and know that my travel activity has expanded significantly since, ranging from destinations in Europe to Africa, Asia, and plenty of other far-flung places. NordVPN helps me stay safe in these countries through its secure Wi-Fi protection by hiding my IP address whilst I'm accessing public Wi-Fi on trains, hotels, and even boats, which all have risks of malware and middlemen attacks. The VPN even has a threat protection feature to make your browsing safe no matter where you're connected. Another annoying thing about travelling abroad is that access to certain content is restricted, which is where NordVPN can help. Just turn on the VPN, put on an appropriate spoof location, and you can now watch your favourite shows and YouTube videos without any hassle whatsoever. I love using this tool, and there is of course a special deal for my viewers. Yes, you! Go to nordvpn.com/midlondon where you can get 4 extra months for free of NordVPN when signing up for a 2-year plan. And if you're still not convinced, there's a money back guarantee 30 days after purchase in the unlikely event you're not satisfied. So give it a go! Fortunately, I've skipped most of the crowds, as I can now board with relative ease. This is something I generally dislike about the TGVs in general, so that's a relief. Premium class is the higher of the 2 first class offerings on Eurostar, and is in a 2x1 layout. Minus a few Eurostar stickers on the interconnecting doors, you'll find minimal differences to where the unit ran under Thalys, but we'll see that more later on. Today's trip to Paris will see us cross 3 countries, with intermediate stops in 2 of them. 2 in the Netherlands at Schiphol Airport and Rotterdam, and 2 in Belgium at Antwerp and Brussels. After Brussels, it's non-stop to Paris's Gare du Nord station, where we're expected to arrive at 20 to 2 Central European time, taking over 3 hours to cover the 543km distance. Our departure from Amsterdam is on time at 10:15 AM Central European time.
Midi et en France, la Gare du Nord de Paris. En néerlandais, Parijs Noordstation.
The first part of this journey involves navigating the Amsterdam suburbs towards the southwest of the city. The urban sprawl and flyovers on the route definitely make for a great start on the journey to Paris this morning, especially with the motorway in the background. 7 minutes later, we head underground to call it our first stop of Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, the main airport in the Netherlands and the 3rd busiest in Europe, which saw 72 million passengers pre-pandemic. Unlike Eurostar's London services, the Eurostar service to Brussels and Paris stops here on a pickup-only basis southbound and is drop-off only northbound, thus providing great links between high-speed rail and air. After departure, the onboard attendant gave me my complimentary drink. You can choose a coffee or a hot drink, but I just went for a water for now. Leaving Schiphol Airport sees us diverge from the lower speed conventional lines onto the HSL Zuid almost immediately afterwards. This is the high-speed line linking Amsterdam with Rotterdam and the Belgian border since 2009. Whilst the line speed is 300 km per hour, we're currently doing much lower than this owing to an earlier incident in the Netherlands. However, before long, we pick up speed to once again reach near the line's full potential. Alright, so what makes this Eurostar the exact same as Thalys? Well, starting with the seat, which is one of the most comfortable I've ridden with lots of padding by the way. It's still the same, which is a good thing, even if the maquette is slightly faded. You'll find foldable armrests on each side and very large legroom, albeit slightly ruined by the footrest, though you may appreciate it if you're on the slightly shorter side. The electronic recline on my seat didn't appear to be working, however, here's what it looks like on one that is. I personally find it to be generous, especially compared to the legacy Eurostar. A large tray table is present that will easily fit any laptop if you need to get any work done or simply unwind with a good movie. A slightly smaller space for small devices such as phones or personal belongings can be found just above the personal bin, which to the side also contains a European power socket, though I did find this to be an awkward height for my adapter. The coat hanger, as you can see, really hasn't changed at all from the Thalys days, though you can quickly ignore this by taking in the calm ambience of the mood lighting, just below the overhead luggage racks, which, whilst large, are not comparable in size to the full-sized ones you'll find near the vestibules. And finally, there's a draw-down blind to reduce the outside view should you wish to. As you can see, the interior is still the same as it was under Thalys. Not that that's a bad thing, as it still remains comfortable and welcoming, but it's in desperate need of a refurb, which Eurostar will do to the new Ruby spec, with the work having been started by Thalys prior to the merger. Count on me to check that out soon. As we briefly exit the HSL Zuid, here's your reminder to subscribe for more weekly content like this. More incredible trips like this are still to come in 2024, and I of course want you along with me. Thanks! The train's second stop is the second largest city in the Netherlands, Rotterdam. As with Schiphol, the stop here is pick up and drop off only, the former being the case for us. A northbound Eurostar PBA pair can be seen departing, having made the drop off as it completes the final leg to Amsterdam from Paris and Brussels. We now pass the Stadion Feyenoord, the host of the UEFA Euro 2000 tournament, as we begin to clear the Rotterdam suburbs. Shortly afterwards, the attendant came back to my carriage and offered me another warm or soft drink choice, of which I went for cola this time, which was pretty nice. We now diverge from the branches to Breda, Tilburg and Eindhoven, and continue on the HSL Zuid by crossing the Hollands Diep River. Through the Scheldt-Rhine Canal, this river connects to both the Scheldt River and Antwerp, the latter being our next stop once we cross into Belgium. At this point of the journey along the line, just before we cross into Belgium, we reach our top line speed of 300 km per hour, though the PBA, like its TGV Réseau counterpart, is designed to reach 320 km per hour where line speeds permit. Eurostar also offers Comfort Class, the lower first class offering which is the same as Premium, excluding the catering and flexibility, and Standard Class, which basically does what it says in the tin. 2x2 seating with both airline and table seats and no additional benefits. These have remained the same as under Thalys, including the flaw that you still cannot select your seat on the former Thalys services, as you still can under the legacy Eurostar, though Eurostar have reassured passengers that this will be introduced on the former in the future, which I will be eagerly awaiting. Perhaps the most noticeable remnants of Thalys are in the Eurostar Café, or should I say Thalys Welcome Bar, which remains exactly the same as it did pre-merger. Even the old Thalys slogan is still present. Even if this is confusing, it still remains a great place for passengers to relax and get something to eat. I myself bought a few snacks from the bar and the service was brilliant. I've linked the full menu and prices below if you want to see it in further detail. The border into Belgium has now been crossed, and we now head underground to call at the 3 platforms of Antwerp Central Station. The terminal on the upper level is said to be one of the most stunning in Europe, though I wish I could say that about certain people. Railways in Belgium are known for onboard thefts and pickpockets, with an individual boarding here attempting to violently steal luggage before being dealt with by the authorities and train crew. Not great. Anyway, we can now put that behind us as we continue to work towards the suburbs of the Belgian capital, which we reach just over half an hour later. The amount of stations we cross just to reach Brussels South always impresses me, despite having done this route multiple times. It's almost as if you get a whistle-stop tour of the city in as little as 15 minutes. Before long, the train reaches Brussels North, and prepares to do the north-south connection, which, as the name suggests, links both north and south stations of Brussels. With approximately 1,200 trains a day since its opening in 1952, this is Belgium's busiest railway line, and the tunnel, an integral part of the link, is the busiest railway tunnel in the world. Our next stop is Brussels Zuid, or Bruxelles Midi, a station of national and international importance with links to France, Luxembourg, Germany, the Netherlands and the UK, making it the busiest in Belgium. Consequently, the train both empties and fills up here, hence another PBA is needed for the last stretch to Paris. This couples with us here, giving the train 16 coaches for the 1 hour and a half stretch to Gare du Nord. Premium class passengers are provided a meal, which was served after Brussels despite most premium passengers actually alighting there, though I can't really say they missed out on much. This is the vegetarian option, and I'd be lying if I said I enjoyed it. And as if you hadn't seen enough of the Thalys brand on this trip, well... To the right is Brussels Forest Depot, where the international high-speed operators in Belgium, including Eurostar and SNCB, maintain their fleets. Passing the depot moves us on to the HSL immediately after, which is Belgium's first high-speed line, as the name suggests, providing links with the Channel Tunnel and Paris, which opened in 1997. The end of the line sees us cross the Fleton Triangle, but unlike my recent videos, we're taking the section that completely bypasses Lille, as we head non-stop to Paris. Oh, and before I forget, there is free Wi-Fi on board if you need it, but it's pretty basic. The mobile data coverage throughout the route is pretty great too, so you may be better off using that if possible. Now you may remember from my last Thalys video that there's a meeting room at one end of premium class. Well, this appears to have been converted to comfort class seating now for extra capacity. Consequently, it was pretty busy, so here's a shot from my Thalys journey to Cologne. It's great to see it finally being put to good use by Eurostar. This is located just in front of the accessible toilet, one of the available toilets in each carriage. It may be the same internal design, but it's good to see it remain clean and functional. I've never had an issue with Thalys' toilet cleanliness, so seeing this repeated with Eurostar was great. Everything worked as it should too, so that's a thumbs up from me. The final stretch of today's trip is on the LGV Nord direct to Paris, which opened in 1993 to link Paris with the Channel Tunnel and the Belgian border. Here we again comfortably cruise at 300 km per hour before arriving into the Parisian suburbs.
Dear passengers, we are approaching Paris arrival in about 5 minutes. We apologize for the delay of 10 minutes due to some traffic problems in the Netherlands.
So there we have it. Overall, I enjoyed my journey with Eurostar Red today. Whilst the merger is somewhat confusing and not really advantageous in more ways than none from a passenger perspective, it's good to see that most positive aspects the service had under Thalys still remain. That being said, today's premium class ticket from Amsterdam cost me £130 or €150.36 booked a few weeks in advance, and that appeared to be the lowest price even months in advance. Would I say that's good value for money? Absolutely not, considering the premium fare for this route used to be as low as €90 under Thalys, so that is a bit of a shame given Eurostar essentially operates a monopoly on most European high-speed cross-border services now. Anyway, owing to the issues encountered in the Netherlands and the attempted theft in Belgium, we arrived into Paris Nord 10 minutes late. Now it's over to you. What do you think of the Eurostar merger? Have you tried Thalys since it became Eurostar? Let me know in the comments. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like and share it to aid the channel's growth, as well as subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content such as this weekly. I have a couple of hours in Paris, so it's time for a break and to do a little bit of sightseeing. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip, and I look forward to bringing you with me on my next one.